All right. So, Lauren Pena, and really happy to have you here, man. I have a lot of stuff I want to really talk to you about. It's going to be fun. So, running for Congress, and I got to say, ballsy as a Republican in Austin. What? Travis County? I wouldn't even do that. I would think that's that's hardcore. So I do respect that. How is that running for Congress in that kind of environment? Is it?
Well, it's a little bit different for me because I grew up on the streets there. And so there's this entire voting block that nobody's ever had. And so, you get all the people that I grew up with, all their cousins, all of that.
Get all the primos, dude. Get all of them.
We're good to go,
No, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're running for Congress. What district again?
Yeah, it's the new CD 37. My opponent is going to be Greg Casar. Right now I'm in a runoff. My primary opponent's actually a California Democrat, so I'm hoping it should be pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah.
Just puts a bad taste in my mouth. No.
Right. Well, I think her I guess kind of thought process was she could relate to the Democrats and pull the Democrats over to vote for her. But I don't think that's going to work. It's not going to work. You're not going to get Democrats to vote for Republicans. What you will do is bring new voters and get those independents.
And that's why I wanted to talk with you too, because when you just throw red meat at the base, right? Yeah, those people are going to vote for you anyways, because they're going to vote for Republican. Same with the Democrats. But it's good to get to know who you are just personally, and so you can relate to the people. And I know you had a very different upbringing than a lot of people. I was the same way. I grew up in the streets doing stupid stuff, getting in trouble a lot, and then I became a history teacher, and then so I didn't go your route with the politics. I have too many skeletons. I don't want them all released, but with teaching, I stopped just recently, and I was like, man, I want to do something else, and we started doing podcasting and doing other things. So tell us a little bit about yourself, just what you like to do, just personal stuff.
Well, I'm a mom. I'm a homeschool teacher myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like I get a lot of flexibility, but my daughter has a disability, and then of course, I have a little bit of PTSD from obviously being in human trafficking, but I found it's kind of a superpower at this point, and so I've been using it as a superpower. But pretty much it's just me and the kids, and I try to, take them out on the campaign trail. When I'm knocking on doors, I'll bring one a day, and we'll get to spend individual time together. But it's nice to have that flexibility with homeschooling. But as far as fun, this is it. Politics is fun to me. It really is.
It is to me too, but it's very divisive, and then you have a lot of stuff going on. So we kind of strayed away from it somewhat, but I still make jokes about it because it's funny, and I do study it religiously. I mean, Chris could tell you I'm kind of psychotic with it. I just because I love history. I was a history teacher, so I kind of see the similarities, and you see all the things that connect.
I want to tell you the biggest thing in history, I guess recent history, if I could go back and change, that Goldwater would have won.
Hillary would have loved you then. She was a Goldwater girl, remember?
Really?
Yeah, she was on tape saying I was a Goldwater girl.
Well, LBJ is my enemy.
Oh, yeah, he started the whole the liberal plantation, man, that we got with the Great Society, man. It was terrible. It just put so many people on welfare, and it just it just expanded more and more. I mean, he was FDR on roids, and that's why I hate it. I can't stand it. And he did say he'll have these N-words voting Democrat, where they say it's speculation, but I mean, he was a staunch racist.
Hey, but he was wrong because they don't vote at all, but they're gonna vote for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping you do, and that's one thing about your story that I really wanted to talk to you about was about that, and I wanted to kind of get more insight on the human trafficking. How did that end up coming about? What was going on in your life that led you to that situation that you were in?
Well, I'm going to be honest, and I'm sure if I had a PR person, they'd be like, don't say all
this. Okay,
don't
say it.
Oh, don't say it. I really don't care because, the sad reality is that politics and gangland, they're really similar.
The Bloods and the Crips, bro. Come on.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So, my parents kicked me out when I was 16 and pregnant. I ended up on the streets, and I found safety in gangs. And so I was doing my thing, just, it was a false sense of safety. I realize that now. But it started off that I was, selling narcotics. And so
So this pod's over. Now, God damn it. I'll be your PR person.
Hey, it's
I'm
more
joking,
than
I'm
10
joking.
years ago. We're good.
No, yeah, you're good. Everything's swept under the rug at this point.
Yeah. So I was doing that. And again, I realized that it's a false sense of safety, but
It sure is.
But to me, like it was family. It was the only stability I had in my life. And, I ended up not being able to provide narcotics to one of our sitting state senators right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to say the name?
No, I will. Boris Miles out of Houston.
Damn. So you were involved, there were senators involved with this.
And, I never imagined myself being in politics. And then it's crazy, all of these years, like decades later, I'm like, oh, wait, like I used to sell you dope.
I've sold a lot of drugs in my life for many years. Never had a senator. Damn, you were up there.
Oh, there was a lot of them. There
Them
was a lot.
Sinaloa over here. What's going on?
Hey, I'm up there.
No, that's crazy. I mean, I was.
Well, what's worse is like he would pay for that on the state credit card. So it was your taxpayer funds.
Bastard.
The senator needed more narcotics. It was the end of the night, and I couldn't get more because it was too late. And he looked at the manager, and he was like, "You're fired." And the way it works is in those clubs, you can do what's called funny money. So you take the credit card. You know what funny money is.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. So you take the funny money, and he was running the state credit card, taking out bands and bands and bands, paying off the managers, bringing girls home, buying narcotics. And
For people that don't know, can you explain that? Just
Yeah. So funny money, basically, you're just going to give the card to the waitress and you'll slide it just like a regular credit card. And it prints out like little fake money, like little fake 20s that everybody in the club can get. And then at the end of the night, they can cash it in for real 20s. So in a way, it's like reverse money laundering. I don't know.
Yeah. So
he looked at the manager and he was like, fire her just because I couldn't give him what he needed. And then I was no longer useful to the gang because of the situation I was in at that point.
And then how did that lead to where you were in the situation you couldn't escape?
So I ended up getting moved down to like San Antonio. So I was here in San Antonio, and it was a whole different ball game than what I was used to in Austin. And I don't know what it's called now because all of these clubs, they changed names, but specifically one of them is called Paradise over on 35.
Yeah, I know that place.
So So Jazz, the owner, he owns like three clubs in San Antonio, and I think he already got arrested for human trafficking. I think he's already in prison. But I was in that club, and a gang tried to steal me out the back, the back patio or whatever.
Damn.
Yeah, and so the manager at the time, he was with a different gang, and he stole me back. And so I remember being drugged like back into the dressing room or whatever. And like literally the payment for him saving my life was like in those rooms. Like I was there for weeks. And so like the managers kept raping me, and I don't know, it was a really big ordeal, but you have to pay to leave. And so, they kept me on drugs. They kept me in the back room, and it was wild.
Yeah, that's terrible. And those people, are they all paying the price at this point? Like they're locked up or not right now?
I don't know. I mean, the only person that I know that's locked up is the owner of the club.
Okay.
And that didn't have anything to do with me. I actually just found that out. I think it happened like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know.
So what are some signs? Because I know that's a big thing right now, especially we had 4 years of open borders and we've seen the trafficking like just uptick like to crazy levels. What are some signs that people should look for if somebody's being trafficked like that to me though?
I'm going to tell you something you're not going to like. Strip clubs are human trafficking.
Oh, strip clubs.
Strip clubs are human trafficking, all of them.
You think you would say
absolutely,
all of them?
100%. Really? Because these girls, they have to pay to be there. So when they get there, they pay. Then they have to pay to leave. And so, that's trafficking.
Oh,
they're
okay.
not getting paid.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that go on with it, a lot of people just really don't understand. But there's a lot of clubs where there's underage girls there. There's girls that can't legally work in the United States and things like that. And that's why I have begun legislation called the Safe Nights Act. And what that would do was require the strip clubs to have the girls be listed as employees instead of independent contractors. That way their IDs and their socials are going to get verified, their hours are going to get verified, and instead of them having to pay to be there, you know, maybe they get paid as a waitress, whatever. But I mean, there's a lot of dark things that go on in the strip clubs. I mean, it's the same as the streets, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware there's probably dark. Like I had a ex stripper come in. She gave me like a whole different story about strip. Not she's from Austin as well, but it was more like they were just partying, having fun, and all that. So I haven't thought of that. But you're saying the strip club has a lot of human trafficking. That's terrible. That is terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they didn't need to put them as employers.
Right.
That's crazy. So the legislation you put forward that's already pushed.
No, I have it drafted, and so when I'm elected to Congress, I want to get that put out. But another reason that's going to be beneficial is if these individuals are going to be employees instead of independent contractors, our welfare system's going to be abused less, because you think like these girls, they're making, I heard they make a lot less money now than they did back then, but you know, all that money, it's under the table. And so they're still collecting all the federal like welfare benefits. So that's going to, you know, help our employment levels look higher and also stopping some of that fraud.
And do you get a lot of pushback from people for saying those kind of things? Like we need to put this kind of act in place.
What are they going to say? They don't know.
No. Oh, they don't know yet. Okay.
No. I'm saying like they don't. The other elected officials, they don't know. They don't know how these things work. So how are they going to push back on me?
Because they always, like we saw what happened with the hush money. And they all, I mean, both parties won the same. You know, they all voted basically to not release all the information of taxpayer hush money on sexual harassment charges.
Every person that voted against that should be removed.
I totally agree.
It's disgusting.
I totally agree with you 100%. Everybody should be. That's why I said lately I've been very black pilled lately. I had a lot of hope when Trump first got in, and then it just started to slowly just go down. Like when Pam Bondi said, if we expose all these people, the whole country would fall. And I'm like, let it fall then. Like, let it fall. If we are held up as a country by pedophile baby eating psychos, then let it fall. I mean, we could pick ourselves up. We're resilient people. America's always been resilient, right? We'll find a way to pick ourselves up and just like rise like the phoenix from the ashes, you know, and go there.
But it's happening in the Texas state government too.
Oh yeah, it's happening
really
everywhere.
Yeah.
Where Texas, I mean, because of the open borders, we saw human trafficking just go up like exponentially, right? I mean, it's crazy. So the other signs that you would say, what would they be? Like strip clubs would be one. That's probably a bad thing. And that act that you're going to put together, that would be awesome. I mean, because you know. We do need to protect women from, you know, predators like that.
But sometimes they need to be protected from themselves.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally understand that. Because, there are a lot of women that don't want to take accountability because they're just like, I'm a woman and I get that. But I also think, especially young people that get preyed on, like you know, you found comfort in a gang. Those things led to you being in a room with a bunch of males that know what they're doing and putting you in these positions that you shouldn't be in. But that's at one point we need to say, like, all right, we need to start protecting people from that, you know, because that shouldn't be allowed in a first world country at all, you know?
Right. And I guess another serious concern of mine is, you know, when I was going through that when I was younger, we didn't have all these female rappers sitting here like glorizing, you know, being a dancer and, you know, just the whole environment. And so like our young kids are growing up to like idolize this lifestyle. And I think it's detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, we had, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 42, so I don't want to say, I know that's not a good, but I'm 42 years old. I remember Lil' Kim, you had Foxy Browns, and they were glorifying being kind of like, you know, promiscuous.
They weren't all on social media being blasted to all the kids, to certain kids.
Where the thing is now you have like OnlyFans, and then you have like, I was watching Sean Ryan's show one time where they're talking about, I forgot what game it is, where they're getting young kids to take pictures of their sister or brother or themselves and blackmailing them. It's not Minecraft. It's another one. It's a popular game. I don't know. You watch Sean Ryan? Roblox, yes. And I was like, what? And that messed up my whole world. I was like, what? You can't even put your kid on Roblox no more because there's players everywhere, man. And I mean, it's always been that way, but now we just see it like tenfold because of social media, you know? So yeah,
It's a fine line too, because you have to think about our Fourth Amendment right, and so how can we figure out how to police this without invading on our civil liberties? And so I guess that's that grand old question.
Has that affected you the way you parent because of that? Does it change like anything?
Oh, my kids don't go nowhere.
They ain't going nowhere.
They don't go nowhere.
No, nowhere at all.
No, they can't. They go with me, but if they're and I started mending the relationship with my parents, and obviously my parents, they did the best that they could do at the time. They didn't understand the things that I was going through. But so I'll let my kids go to my mom's every now and then. But other than that, like, they're with me or they're at the house. Like,
no, so
they don't go nowhere.
You still have like that trauma that's affecting you with that.
Well, I'm not sure it's trauma. It's common sense at this point. Like,
really?
I live downtown in East Austin. Like, I mean, people get stabbed on the bus.
Well, Austin looks crazy now. Jesus Christ. Every time I go down there, I'm like, God, this place is shit. Like, I honestly don't like it. Like, I see bums everywhere, tent cities all over the things. Because my wife's from Japan, so she likes to go because they have a lot. But back then, we didn't have Daiso. I don't know if you know what Daiso is. It's like a Japanese like sword. And y'all have it. Y'all have like a lot of Asian stuff out there. And we used to have to go, and I'd be like, God, every time I come here, I'm like, let me make sure I have my gun. Because I never know, like, it's crazy out there. And then we went to a couple concerts, and just trashy and nasty, like in 6th Street now. And
well, a big part of that issue is that they're bringing in people from major cities all across the country that are affiliated with different gangs. And so, like, all the gang members that used to live there, they still live there, but they've grown up now. They're taking care of their family. They started like being normal people, and so now all of these new gangs are just running wild. There's no hierarchy, which and I bring that up because I did a community police academy class with the Austin Police Department, and I was like, why do you guys just not get the other gangs to check them? And they're like, well, we used to be able to do that, and it worked out really well, but we can't do it anymore because they're all old.
Like, I don't know if you remember when Katrina happened. And when Katrina happened, a lot of them got sent to Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. So it was a crazy clash between the two because a lot of these people from New Orleans, they're like, we're third ward, and they thought they were going to come in and run stuff, and they didn't. And people were, it was like gang wars for a while, and then they finally settled down. And now they're just Texans now. They just became part of us because a lot of them didn't go back home. A lot of them just stayed here. But yeah, that's interesting. What are some problems that you see in Austin that you would like to fix? Like right away, like what's some easy solutions, like boom, get it done?
Well, right now I have a federal lawsuit against the housing authority of the city of Austin. And I assume that the issues that I'm having in my housing authority are going to be the same all over the country, but they're just completely violating federal law with no like disregard. And even, for the past 4 years, I've been sending them emails, notifications like, hey, you're violating statute so-and-so, like under federal law, like this is your responsibility, this is what you're doing wrong, you need to fix it. And it's just so bad. And what ended up happening is finally after 4 years, I got the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation to come out and investigate my property, and that was like a couple of days before Christmas. And so as soon as my apartments saw TDLR there, of course they were freaking out. Well, I got right after Christmas a lease non-renewal. So they tried to non-renew my lease because the TDLR came. And so I was very, very happy because I'm like, yes, like this is the cherry on top of the cake for me to file my federal lawsuit because like retaliation. But it even worse. So as soon as they got served the U.S. Marshals for the lawsuit, they started retaliating again. They were coming in, doing all kinds of inspections they never did before and writing me lease violations. And I'm talking like, it's crazy. But the moral of the story is like, the people that are harmed in these communities the most are the elderly, disabled, and veterans. And, we grew up in a world where, you see something, you don't say something, but we don't understand how badly that impacts the elderly and disabled because now they're at a point where they're literally being abused by the system. I'm telling you, like, the living conditions are horrific, and they are afraid to speak up and say anything because they will get retaliated on against. And, I'm a prime example. Like, look what happened. I finally got them investigated, and they immediately retaliated. So the elderly and disabled being harmed, they can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And you're still living in those, you're still living government housing?
I do. Because
so you're the only probably congressional candidate to ever like live in government house. That's insane. Do you get a lot of like snobbiness towards you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
By both or by one?
No, not the Democrats. The Democrats think it's awesome.
Like, yes.
But they're
Bring
like,
her along. She'll be
no,
our
but
next
they're like,
AOC.
please be a Democrat. Please be a Democrat. And I'm like, no, I'm not okay with mutilating children. Like that's like the things that they think are absolutely demonic, and I just cannot. I cannot be a Democrat.
I have a question for you because I'm the same way, right? So I used to be able to meet like Democrats in middle ground, like okay, and to be honest, I could still do that. But it's funny because when you talk to a Democrat, they don't even know what they're like representing anymore. If you tell them something, they're like, that's Fox News. I'm like, I don't watch Fox News. Oh, or that's just like, you're a crazy conspiracy. Like, no, it's the truth. Go look it up. It's an actual law. Like the whole thing, I can't meet middle ground with like, if your kid's going to transition and you say no, the government can kidnap that kid and hold them without telling you where they're at. I can't do it with 9-month abortions. I can't do it with, you want to put kids on hormone blockers and you want to like mutilate them, like you just said. I can't do it with like open borders and just like, we can't deport nobody, and I'm like, there's no middle ground there.
And the soft on crime part.
Yes, and you can steal up to $1,000 because it's going to actually stop theft, right? Like, no, it's not. It's exacerbated it. We saw it in California, San Francisco, LA. We see how terrible it's going. I'm not in agreement. I remember for a while they were trying to do the castle law, get rid of it because so many Californians were coming here. It's like, you come in my home, you're getting shot. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm not gonna ask questions like, "Are you here for this?" I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, what are you here for, sir?" I'm gonna shoot because I have kids and I got a wife to protect, and as a man, that's my job. And I just can't find middle ground with these people anymore. And are you on the same boat?
Well, okay, so I'm in a unique position being where I'm at because I am in like the most bluest city in Texas.
Yeah, you are.
And when I started getting politically involved, I made a splash. Like I'm a very well-known person. When I started testifying in the Capitol, untrained, without having anybody pull my strings, and some of the stuff I was saying, like people are like, "Whoa, like we've never heard this before." Well, yeah, because you've never had somebody that wasn't paid come up here and sit and tell the truth. And
that's why Trump was so popular.
Yeah,
like in 2016, because he was saying shit that like nobody else said. And I was like, damn, like, okay, that makes an impact for sure.
And so like the Democrats, they all know who I am. And so I do have, like, actually one of my best friends is a Democrat, but he thinks he's a Democrat. Everything that we just said, he aligns. And that's the thing. A lot of them think they're Democrats and they're supposed to be because they're in a deep blue district, but they're really not Democrats.
Default Democrats.
Yeah.
I have so many people like that. And it's funny because I used to teach that. Like when I used to teach, I would tell people all the time, like the students, I'd be like, "Oh, because I would never indoctrinate them. I would tell them, look at both sides. This side saying this side saying this. And every time I would say, this side wants to fight for this and this, because we had to talk about it. It was, I taught U.S. history, and they would always be like very conservative, more than me. Like I would say, okay, how long should people be on welfare? What amount of time is a good amount of time? They're like 3 months. I'm like, God damn, I think a little more.
No, I want to take it away.
No. But I was like, even for pregnant women, they're like, okay, once the baby, like boom, and then this. And I would say, y'all are very conservative. They're like, no, we're not, because they're just trained to think, especially Hispanic people, right? Trained to think that you're a Democrat. Like you have to be because you're Hispanic and you're brown. But yeah, that's interesting. So that I have a lot of people like that too, like I said. And every time you tell them that, what do they always tell you?
They're like, nah.
Yeah. That's not true.
And what's worse is what they say to me is they're like, I can't say these things in front of my party. I get chastised. Like, we're not allowed to think like that. And I'm like, dude, then wake up. What are you doing? Come over here.
I would say then you don't deserve to be in the position you're in. If you cannot speak truth to power, then get the fuck out. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, there's nothing else to say to that other than you're a coward, and you'd be the people riding with the red shirts during the American Revolution, like you would be those people because like, oh, we can't beat the biggest Navy in the world,
Right.
Like, no, we don't have time for that. We need courage. We need like real courage, not the courage that I came out as a woman after 30 years of being a man, that's not courage. No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, we need real courage to speak truth to power and to be not popular sometimes because like a father and like a mother, right? You're not supposed to be popular with your kids. You're supposed to be the authoritarian. You're supposed to be the disciplinary. And nowadays, everybody wants to be their kid's friend. It's like I tell my kids all the time, we're not friends. Like we're never gonna be friends. Like we're on a different level. I'm up here, you're down here. And then when you get older, it starts to even itself out. But as a kid, no, you don't get to decide what the hell you want to be. Like no, I'm not talking about job wise. I'm talking about like if I tell you to study, you're gonna study. That's the bottom line. We're not gonna
Can't choose to be a cat.
Yeah, furries, the furries. Oh yeah. No, if my kid told me I'm a furry, I'd be like, get in your fucking room. Get in your room and just don't come out for a while. We'll tell you when dinner's ready. Yeah. So, what are some other things that you are very passionate about when fighting for?
Well, I mean, it's really like welfare. Honestly, is a big thing because it needs to end. You know, it's your taxpayer dollars. It's the working class's taxpayer dollars that are funding these programs that are just really, really bad. And you know, every single one of the programs is broken. I got evidence against all of them. Like these people are gonna have to listen to me. But you know, we need to get the working class back their money, and we need to stop all of it's really taxation without representation at this point. And you know, the thing is that the left, they sit here and they try to say that they're for the working class people, and they're really not, because they're the ones that are taking the working class's money and putting it into programs that are completely unnecessary.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, 100%. Like it's both parties that do a lot of unnecessary spending. You know, you got one that's just going to do unnecessary spending on the military. And I know many people in the military, like, we have to spend the money. Like, they would tell them, spend it, or if not, we're going to lose it. Right. So, and there's so much of that. That's why I was hoping Doge was going to really be, you know, go all in until he didn't. He wasn't allowed to. And that really pissed me off, too. But yeah, government spending. Where's the most fraud that you see, especially like in your city?
NGOs and nonprofits.
Those are 100%.
Yeah, so that's another issue I would like to tackle. I got a couple of friends that are being retaliated in those programs for speaking up. Really started to build a big team in all of this, but you know, they have a really tight connection. All of the nonprofits do, and it's really an industrial complex. And so I think the biggest thing that we could do right away to help it is to take away the part, and I guess this is in the tax law, where nonprofits are supposed to be nonpartisan, because in reality, they are partisan.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's mostly left.
It's mostly left.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, you know, what we could do is make it so that it has to be even. And if anything, we're going to see that won't work, because the Republicans are going to be like, well, we don't need a nonprofit for that. And so I think it can kind of taper down the left's like nonprofit and NGO takeover. But, you know, I'll give you another example. When I started with like my housing situation and I first like tried to sue them, I was using Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid, which is one of the main legal nonprofits that help all the communities like mine, right? And all the people with various things. But they have working relationships with all the other agencies. And so because I was trying to get assistance for the Housing Authority of the City of Boston, once it got far enough along, they dropped me. So I was forced to take on this case by myself. Now, luckily, I had the education, but what about all the other people? I'm sure the hundreds of thousands of people that have done this and got dropped and didn't have the education to carry it on because they have working relationships with it.
But Lauren, how are we going to know what happens when you trans monkeys if we don't have these NGOs?
I was like, wait.
No. You remember when all this stuff started coming out, like all this, like how did shrimp react when you run on a treadmill underwater? Like, what is this? Come on,
they're like robot roaches and stuff.
Yeah, this is nonsense. There's so many things that our money goes to that have. I mean, there's things that it should go to. I get it, but there's so many things that and Elon Musk really went in on all that, and then now we see it with Minnesota with the daycares. Who would have known, right? I mean, that's one thing I wish guidance counselor said, like, learn how to grant write because you'll be a millionaire within a week, you know, and it's crazy.
On the Minnesota thing, I'm gonna tell you, like, that's a widespread issue.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So like my building, it's one of the oldest housing projects ever implemented in the United States. Well, it just got gentrified. So on the bottom, we have one of those daycares now. We have one of those grocery stores now.
Of course.
All of them are empty. So y'all been collecting all these federal funds to pay for these programs that haven't even been operating for 4 years. What's going on?
Man, I bet they hate you.
They hate me. And, you know,
I bet they hate your guts. I can imagine.
One of the things that makes me the most angry is you have like a lot of these supermarkets and stuff that are in the low income communities, like for example, the one that's going to be in my building, and they jack the prices up for all the groceries, and they know everybody's paying on food stamps. And so it's really, again, eating that taxpayer funds. And obviously we don't want to make it, we want to have a free market, but we have to prevent the markets that are in neighborhoods like mine that only take food stamps from jacking their prices up so high.
Oh yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I mean, that's like the medical field too. That's why they get away with that. And it was, it was crazy when you had all these conservative, I guess you could call them that, influencers that were fighting to keep Coca-Cola on food stamps. And remember when that all happened? And yeah, it's just so much fraud, and so much of our money is just wasted on nonsense. And they always say, well, you care about the streets and the roads and the schools. It's like, what is, none of it's, not all of it is going there. If it was going there, then we'd have something to show for it. And we've seen that, like, schools are just plummeting. Their scores are plummeting. Nothing good's coming from that. So is that why you decided to homeschool your kids?
Well, the way it first started, it was right at the start of the pandemic. I had my kids in charter school. What is it? IDEA?
Oh, I used to teach there.
Yeah. So
yeah.
my daughter was in first grade and my other daughter was in kindergarten. Well, the kindergartner came home, and this is only like a couple of like weeks of her being in there. And she was like, the boys keep picking on me, pulling my hair, and the teacher won't do anything, and she's just on the phone or out in the hallway talking to other teachers. And I was like, what? And I'm like, this was 2021, so I just got out of human trafficking. I finally got a little bit of stability in my life, but I was going through a lot of depression at that time because of dealing with the trauma of what I went through. But I had a coming to Jesus moment, and after that, my daughter comes and tells me this. And I don't know why, but I was just like, I'm pulling her out. And I didn't even know that in Texas, like, all you have to do is write a letter to the school and be like, I'm pulling them out to homeschool. And so
I didn't know that either. Well, yeah, you could pull them out easily.
Yeah, so I did it. And I tell you what, it was the greatest thing that I have ever done as a mother and as a person, because having that responsibility to actually be a mother full time for the first time in my life, and actually not sending my kids away for someone else to take care of them, I had to like face my mental issues like right away, because I couldn't neglect my children. So I had to get up, I had to get out of bed, I had to start doing something. And so that brings me on to like kind of the medical industry too. We've got a big push from the left that everybody needs to be on all this medication and there's all these mental health issues. But I tell you what fixed my mental health issues was being a parent.
Or just keeping yourself busy. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. A lot of depression can be fixed. Not all of it. There's some people that have some stuff. I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of these kids are depressed because they have nothing going for them. They have no purpose. And that's the one thing. Social media has created this environment where these people have no purpose. And then they see nothing but these glamorous people online. And they think, oh, I'm not like them. I don't have the same as they do. And then it creates jealousy and bigotry. Sorry, bitterness and all that kind of stuff. And then they start to really go towards the Marxist ideas. Like, why do they get to have two houses like that look like that? And I have a little shack, I'm living in. And that just breeds all that, resentment. And we need to take rich to an oblivion. Okay, how's that going to work? Because rich people know how to move the money.
Right, and it's not going to encourage anybody to want to get to a better place if they know their money's going to get taken away.
Yeah, who wants to work hard if you're going to get? Yeah, we're going to just take 80% of your earnings. Like, that's stupid. Like,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But as for schools, I totally agree with you. Schools are terrible. You can't do nothing to a lot of kids now because they need that. They more asses in the seats, more funding that they get. So I know firsthand. I could go on for hours about schools and the horrible things they do there. But it is bad, and the kid not benefiting from it a lot, and it's just a breeding ground for just nothingness. Like, there's nothing there for them to look forward to. You can't fail kids. They smoke in the restrooms all day. They just vape in the restroom all day. Like, a lot of those kids, they just sit there, and you can't do nothing towards them.
Well, they were created to create workers, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the whole back in the day, it was with bell schedules and how to work in a factory, but we're no longer in like factory workers. So, but still, I just think we've been failing these kids so much because we don't show them any accountability. So they think all that they're doing in schools, they could threaten the teacher, nothing's gonna happen, and then they go to real world and threaten the manager, something's gonna happen. Like, it's not the same thing. So we're not preparing them.
And I have another idea too. So you tell me what you think on it. But my thought process is we have so much federal funds going towards programs like Head Start and like early child care and things like that. And those programs are so expensive. Wouldn't it be less expensive to have those parents that are, they're going and they're working for $10 an hour jobs to have the government pay all of the child care and stuff? Wouldn't it be cheaper for the state and the federal government to pay the moms to stay home instead of paying those like NGOs to watch the kids.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of programs now, and then I remember when Biden came in, he was like, "We need to get them sooner," and it was like,
no,
"Dude, how much
that's
sooner
horrible.
do you want them? Like,
Yeah.
goddamn,
Those
you want them right
babies
out
need to stay with their
right out the vagina? Just go take them to a facility." And one of the things I will say that pissed me off is when he goes, "There are kids," and I like remember when he said that.
Oh, geez,
You don't remember when he
that's
said
creepy.
that? Yeah, he said like it takes a village to raise children. There are kids, and I was like, no,
Not the federal government.
no, they're my kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you don't tell me that. But no, I mean, I would have to look at the whole logistics of it, but it might be, I would have to see the numbers in front of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like something
And like
better.
I'm saying, like coming from the perspective of like a low income community member, I see every day a lot of my neighbors walking around who have their kids in daycare being paid for by the state, and they're just doing drugs, walking around the block all day.
Well, 100% that needs to be
Yeah.
stopped. Yeah, generational welfare is ridiculous. I once got in trouble for saying, because one of the kids came up and said, "I'm just going to have kids to be on welfare," and I said, "Don't you want more?" And that's all I said. Like that's fine if you need it for a little bit, but don't you want more? But I was just trying to be, nice because I was teaching. And then the whole thing, the principal came down, and why would you say that? And I was like,
Why would you
are
not
we
say
not
that?
aspiring them to do more? Are we just like, yeah, aim for the bottom? Like we're almost at aim for the bottom at this point. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with welfare. Okay, yes. But there is something wrong with you being on welfare for over, especially like you're having 5 kids, 4 baby daddies, and you're on welfare for 10 years. There's a problem there. And
Well, here's another fun fact that I just learned. It's not really fun, but
it's a fun fact without the fun.
so what they're doing is these high school kids that live in the projects now, if they're 16 and they have a job, they're having to pay rent to the housing authority.
When did that happen?
I don't know, but you tell me. Now this kid already has it in his head. Okay, I just got to pay the government for my little rent here in the projects. That's not right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not right at all.
Well, those projects, and like you said earlier, and I agree. I think those government housing are meant to keep you there.
They are.
There's no incentive them out because they're getting more money, and like the way the schools are, more asses in the seats. No matter if they're excelling or even trying or whatever the situation, are they even legal? Because now we can't ask that. Yeah, it's just like keep making more government housing. And
But my property that I have the lawsuit against, they got $270 million from the federal government to build it, and it only cost $53 million. So what happened to all that? Like,
Yeah.
that's a big.
that paid for their other yacht,
Yeah.
their other
Yeah.
house.
I can't wait for Discovery.
Oh man, so that's cool. So you're running your opponent. You think you're going to be able to take your opponent in the runoff?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's only catering to one demographic of people. And, I don't need to go into it more than that. You can just look at her videos and you'll see. But, I am not sitting here trying to be a pleaser to the GOP. I'm trying to be a pleaser to the voters, because I don't care what the GOP expects from me, because at the end of the day, it's time for them to be innovative. And if they want to stay in any sort of power, they're going to have to start connecting to communities like mine. And, we're overwhelmingly conservative, so why should we be any less in their eyes? And everybody knows it. The Democrats know it too. So I'm really connecting with independents and Democrats and Republicans across the board.
100%. I think Republicans are losing so much. They have so much potential with the Hispanic community because we're very conservative at heart. And people always say like, I don't think so. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
We saw like the border's
Yeah.
going back blue now.
oh yeah, and it's a good opportunity for them to kind of relate to people, but of course, like you said, and at one point you're gonna have to revamp that whole party. Like, man, all
I'm
these,
working on it.
Yeah, yeah. No, you got to revamp that whole party and be like, dude, there's so many people. Like, if you look at the stuff I put out and all that, you wouldn't think I'm a conservative because I'm just very like the way I act and all that. But that's the one thing, and especially you need to please the people in the middle. And they're only pleasing their
Without
side.
being a rhino, though.
Oh, no. Rhinos are terrible. No. 100%. But there has to be something done for them to actually have community outreach to neighborhoods where they have a chance to win instead of just kind of that's always blue and it's gonna stay blue. Like, well, that's
Well, so for redistricting, I went into the Capitol and I testified at every single hearing except for the one in Houston, and I was like, I need a district that covers the city of Austin so I can go into all of the communities like mine and get them to vote for the first time. And I got exactly what I asked for. I am in a single county district. I have one of the smallest congressional districts in the country that I'm running for right now, and it's a new district. And, you know, I'm bringing in approximately 20,000 new voters. It's going to flip. And so I don't know if that's why the people in the Texas Republican Party are giving me such a hard time, because they're mad that they know that I'm going to be able to do this or what. But, you know, a lot of the people that are attacking me online and even like in the party, they're all like in their 70s and 80s. And they see someone like me who just comes in and doesn't match like their criteria, and so they've been making me look bad. And I think we really need to come together. Like, this is the Republican Party and I'm running as a Republican because I'm a Republican. Like, why are you attacking me? And it's just because I'm different.
Yeah, that's why I was telling my friend. I was like, man, you remember back in the, I know you're probably younger, a lot younger than me, but I was like, remember in the 90s when we used to like argue about like taxes, like how much taxes should be implemented to what group of people? Now we're arguing about, should we have dudes in girls sports? It's like craziness.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like craziness now. Like, what are we arguing about? But it's definitely gone to like, the right has gone left and the left's gone like over the cliff on the left. Yeah, they've jumped over already. It's already gone. But yeah, so as a congressman, what is going to help you stay on your path to be like, you know what, I don't care what y'all think, because they're going to pressure you, you know, and everybody that goes to Congress says the same thing, and then they get there, and then they're Nancy Pelosi making all this, you know, insider trading money. What's something that's different about you that's going to make you resilient to all that and say, like, I don't care?
So, like, on TikTok, for example, I just got TikTok like 4 months ago, and I've already hit 10,000 followers.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was really quick, but it's because I'm literally like going around talking about my campaign, talking about like my day-to-day life and how things are working. And I want to bring that same concept into Congress. And I know there are a couple Democrats that do that, like AOC and things like that.
Yeah.
I know she's terrible, but she's utilizing public opinion in a better way than Republicans have. And I hope to be able to take that over for the Republican Party to control the narrative for the Republican Party.
Without the lies. Like
Exactly. And so, you know, you were talking about a minute ago about like the men and women's restrooms and things like that. So there's like lobbyist groups here in Texas that were lobbying against it, for it. And all of the things that I testified for was just common sense things. I had nothing to do with the organizations. And honestly, at that time, even during the 89th legislative session, I didn't understand lobbyists and what their role was. But now, like me coming out and running for Congress, it's funny because all of those lobbyists, they're the ones that endorse candidates, back candidates, and fund them. And so you have all these different lobbyists where I know that I've testified in favor of their bills, not because they asked me to, but because it was the right thing to do. And then they don't even want to have anything to do with me. And I think that's really interesting. And it's because, you know, I'm not a puppet. And it's going to be the same thing when I'm in Congress. I'm going to utilize that social media. And if you come into my office and you try to tell me some bullshit, you know, vote this way because of this, I'm going to ask my people. I'm going to ask the constituency. I'm going to ask America, hey, what do you think? Because it's not supposed to be what I think. It's not supposed to be what the lobbyists want me to do. It's what the people need. And so I want to stay open with the people on every bill and every interaction and just talk to them every day.
It would be great if Congress just had single bills. I mean, instead of these omnibuses and these crazy, you know, nobody reads anything that goes into these damn bills.
I'm not voting on nothing unless I can read it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that we really need. I thought Trump was going to really push for that.
It's all the same people in there right now. The only way to fix these things is to get an entirely new Congress, which I see coming.
And there should be term limits on Congress. You agree with?
Yeah, so I've always been for term limits. However, I did hear one argument against it that I thought was a little relevant, so I'll share it with you so I can get your opinion. They were saying, and
I don't like it. No, I'm just joking.
It was a Texas House of Rep member, and he was like, I believe it's going to breed more corruption, because if someone knows they only have X amount of time to be in office, they're going to hurry up and try to get up on them dollars as fast as they can. So he believes there's a potential for more corruption if we implement term limits.
I actually heard this argument. That's why I was interrupted you jokingly. But yes, I heard that, and I just don't agree with that. Because corruption is corruption. They're going to be corrupt if they're there for 100 years. They're going to be corrupt if they're there for 5. The one thing though is they would have to. If they're corrupt, they only have a certain amount of time, and then you can vote them out. And then also, every 2 to 4 years, And I just don't agree with that. I think people really need to. I think a lot of it is on the American people as well. They need to vote in people that shouldn't be there, like Lindsey Graham's and all that. Those people, Mitch McConnell's, and I'm picking on my own party because I'm picking on my own party because I hate when people say, "Oh, you only talk about the other party." No, I'm talking about my own because I don't wear a team jersey. If you're doing wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're doing wrong. Like just like family, right? Like I have cousins like, hey, bro, you're kind of messed up. You did wrong.
I have another solution for that as well, though, because now unfortunately all of our elections are on. They're electronic, and I don't think there's any way we're gonna get away from that, no matter how much of a necessity it is. We start putting pictures of the candidates, because I think the voters they don't have time to research the candidates, but they're gonna start seeing like, oh, whoa, this dude is way older than what I thought he was.
But then it will be like I think like you go back to the Nixon and JFK debates. A lot of people just voted for JFK because he was better looking. He had like it was the first televised debate to ever happen. And Nixon was sick. He was sweating, and people went off of that. I think it would be a cool idea, but it would be cool if maybe. I mean, it would be impossible, but have a little of their stances on there. But that's
or their age. At least.
But that would be one thing. We're taking away too much responsibility from the American people. American people need to be more responsible and research who they're voting for. So I agree with you, in some ways, because you don't want to vote in like a 90-year-old or Mitch McConnell where he just has like a pause and he's just like, oh yeah, they're all Mr. McConnell, and it's like, come on, dude, go home, and you should be home, like you should be with your family, go home. But I just don't like the idea of like, oh, this guy's cute and I'm gonna vote for him, because that's what it would. Or man, she's hot. Like I'm gonna vote for this chick, because it would go both ways. Men were gonna vote for the more pretty woman, and women are gonna vote for the more like handsome young guy, and that might be not that great. It might not end up well.
So let's just add ages.
There you go. Yeah. But I don't know. I just think we need to stop giving outs to the people and say, do some damn research. And I liked what Venkaswamy when he was saying, you should be able to pass a basic civics test. You should know what's going on, because we have I'll tell you a story. True story. I used to work at a place in San Antonio, a charter school, and one of the women, she was a congressperson, and it was George Gervin. I don't give a shit. Like I'm gonna say what it was. George Gervin Academy. And the woman, George Gervin's sister, is the one, and no hate towards her, but she's doing what because it's legal. She basically, you know what? Yeah, it's bullshit. That's what it was. She got all the kids, and all the kids that were 18, she got them on the bus to go vote. And she goes, "Come on, everybody, let's vote. We're gonna vote blue, right? We're gonna vote blue." And I had a kid come up to me and say, "Sir, who do I vote for?" I said, "Bro, do some research on the car. You have your phone. See who you align with more, and just do that." Because I wasn't going to say vote red, because I also think that would be just as bad, right? I mean, I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be a solution to the problem. And I'm like, bro, look at what they represent, and then see which one you align with. And then that kid's like, I can't really read that well. He couldn't.
Is that not election interference?
I have no idea, but that did happen. Like, she was like, "Come on, we're gonna vote blue, everybody," and she just had them in there. And they're all just like, "I don't give a shit." Like all of them, all the kids are like, "I don't care to vote," and they just voted blue, and that's all they knew. And imagine how often that happens with the elderly, especially. Like
they have like voting booths in the nursing homes,
especially with mail-in voting. Like the mom could just take the son's card and, "I'm gonna vote for this, boom, boom, send it in." And there's so much fraud out there. I would love to go back to the paper ballots and actually have counting like every first world country in the damn planet, except for us.
I actually got to testify in front of the Secretary of State in, I think, December, because our election machines, our voting machines, they haven't even been certified since 2012.
Yeah, and they had that HBO documentary where the guy said how easy it is to basically hack those election things. and it's all just terrible. Like and this is why I've gotten to the point. But like I said, I hope you do stay resilient when you are in, if you do get voted in. And I'm hoping.
Well, I'm not planning on staying there forever. Honestly, like I will serve no more than 3 terms because I think that that's like a good place. And at that time, I'll either run for U.S. Senate or state Senate because I'm considering like working it backwards and being like a U.S. House rep, then being a state senator, then being a city councilwoman so that I can follow my policies down to the ground level. But I will not stay in for more than 3 terms.
Well, that'd be great. I mean, I'm hoping that you get there. I like what I hear, and I've seen your stuff. But unfortunately, because you're in Austin, that's kind of sucks. But hopefully people in Austin see it and actually relate with you and kind of see where you're coming from. I did have a question. So you just had a big news the other day. You had a big news.
I have a couple big news.
You had big news the other day where you were cooperating with certain people, business people and all that, right? Can you explain that?
Yeah. So I and it's funny because when I first started my campaign, this is exactly what I said I wanted to do. But it just so happened that a big real estate owner from downtown Austin, who owns a music venue, wanted to meet up with me.
Nice.
And so like I'm the type of person if I have time to meet someone and they're asking to meet, I'll go right now. Like, all right, let's go. And so I hopped on an electric scooter and I went to the
nice. Like,
to the venue.
Is.
I made a TikTok on the way. It was fun. But I got there and, turns out he was really, really involved politically years ago and still in Austin as far as building up a lot of the what are those things called? The committees for the different locations in the city.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. But anyways.
We got you.
Yeah. And so he was like, hey, and I didn't even know, like, he had a whole music venue behind us. So it was really cool. He was like, hey, I want to host some concerts and I want to let you come in and speak to the people at the concerts. And we can set up a voter registration table. We can get some of the ticket sales to be donated to your campaign. And I'm like, holy cow, like, no way. And I don't know this guy so much, so I don't know if he knows, like, I'm a little ratchet sometimes. So, like, my taste in music.
As long as you're not Jasmine Crockett.
No. See, she's a Cardi B person. I'm a Slim Thug person. There's a big difference.
Gotcha.
And so, like, so one of the first concerts is going to be, like, a rap concert that I wanted to do to get all of the people in the projects out because, they're like 30, 40 years old. They grew up on all the H-Town music. And so we're going to get them to come in and I can register them to vote and I'm going to get them out to vote. And then there's a couple other concerts that are coming up. And so I just think that it's an amazing opportunity to get people to be forced to listen to me. And once they hear me talk, once they hear, like, I'm one of you, like, I know you guys don't want to vote because you feel like your vote doesn't count. And that's like the number one thing that I hear is it doesn't matter if we vote because our elections are fake, our elections are rigged, and my voice doesn't matter. But like if I can just get in front of all my neighbors, which I have been doing, but in this way, like, guys, this is our one shot. Like, we can really do this. Like,
what will resonate with a lot of people too, that is a lot of these leftists want to take away gun rights. And it's like, do you want your guns taken away? Because especially in Texas, like if you're a one voter issue kind of person, that would be it. I would die on that hill too. Like, you're not taking away my guns. I'm sorry, bro. Like, we're not doing this.
So I took a picture downtown the other day.
I saw that. I saw that with your gun and
I open carry. Like, I'm always strapped all the time. And even right now. Sorry.
Oh, no, okay.
But like, so it's funny because it kind of depends on the platform, the feedback you get. So on Facebook, that particular picture went like crazy. There's like hundreds of comments, hundreds of likes, and the comments are pretty good. But then over on X, the comments about it are like, why do you need a gun? No, thank you. And I don't need someone like that in my neighborhood.
For
I'm like,
protection.
What do you mean? This is my neighborhood. Like, I grew up here.
It's like, God, no, especially the people that I hate that. You have these white liberal women, right? The white liberal women are the worst. Oh, my God. I'll deport all those to Cuba and we get all the Cubans over here because they're more conservative. And let's do a swap. But you get all these people talking about how we should feel and act and think. And it's like, you don't even know what it's like to live in our neighborhood. You know nothing about our neighborhood to even know anything on how we should approach the situation that we're in. And it makes me so mad. So what are some of the worst comments you've gotten?
So I need to be deported. That one's not that bad.
I had one that was pretty funny. They said, "Man, your accent needs to be deported." And I said, "That's a good one." I'm not gonna lie. It was funny though. Come on, let's laugh. But I was like, "That's a good one. I like that." All right.
Yeah. Some of the worst are like your trafficker should have kept you.
Wow.
I get that a lot from the leftists. And so at first I was like, dang, that sucks.
I'm not trying to laugh at your pain, but in your reaction,
It doesn't bother me
I would be like, F you. You're just, oh man,
Yeah.
wow, okay. I thought I was doing better.
That, and then I've been getting a lot that I'm fat. And I'm like, that's cool because it's encouraging me to work out. So I'm day 4 on my diet now. So haters, thank you.
Hey, well, you got what? 4 kids?
Yeah. And
Dude,
2 stepkids.
you're doing
Hello.
fine.
Yeah.
Your husband loves it. So
But the problem is that I'm 4'11", so if I eat a cheeseburger, you can see it, you know?
nah, you're not a. I mean, in San Antonio, you wouldn't even be considered a torta. You're good. You're
No,
good.
I get that all the time, too.
A torta?
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
And another thing that I get, and this is only from the Republican side on X, is like I have this really bad article, which by the way, this person is evil. They wrote an article about me and said hooker turned congressional candidate. And I was like, dang, like I didn't even get paid. Like
Technically, I didn't get paid, so I'm not a hooker. That would be a good.
I was just held against my will at gunpoint. It's
See,
cool.
where that's
like,
what's crazy. Yeah, if you're held against your will, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Like,
And so,
you should be more like
Yeah.
talk about empathy, right?
But it's the Republicans and like even like some, because I was a precinct chair, like sitting there spreading all this, and my opponent's campaign manager been spreading it like crazy, and he's a sitting SREC member, so it's like really sick. Like you guys are sick, and so a lot of the Republicans on X are just calling me a hooker and a prostitute, and I'm like, you know what? I probably would not be in the project, so I would probably have some money. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I'd be doing well in life right now.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. So you get a lot from both sides.
More so the Republicans.
Okay, I actually been getting a lot because like I said, we kind of stay away from politics, and then the little bit I have done, it's been against like, oh, I don't like the way this is going or this going, and they're like, you never were MAGA, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, calm down, like they're really upset about it. I'm like, Jesus. And, but the left is worse though.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
For me,
it
at
depends.
least.
I had somebody comment on my Facebook earlier before I drove down here, and they were like, I keep telling Facebook to not show me your stuff, and you keep popping up with your rhetoric. And my post was like literally talking about exposing like the sexual misconduct in Congress. And I'm like, oh, is that rhetoric? Like,
I know. I didn't know. I thought I was doing good.
I'll tone it down.
I'll tone it down. Let's let all these people just use your taxpayer money for hush money when they rape and molest people. No, yeah, that's wild. The ones I get from our leftists and man, they turn quick. It goes from they love Hispanics and all this to you piece of shit. I hope you get deported and your family. I hope you die. And like, God damn.
Yeah.
All right.
I do. It is a lot of the left being extremely like racist towards me, but I think like the things that actually hurt is what the Republicans say.
Yeah, because that's your own people.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if a stranger says something to you, it's like, but when a family says something, it's like, all right, you want to,
Yeah.
you
But it's
want
cool.
to break me down?
I've actually learned though, because like at first when I came in, people try to make it seem like I was the problem starter, like I was causing problems, like with all the things that I'm saying and trying to do.
That's when you know you're doing the right thing.
Right. Well, it turns out all the people that I have problems with, a whole bunch of other people have problems with, but they never had the wills to say it.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It's when you are like that, and that's the one thing I liked about Trump in 2016 was when everyone was attacking him. I was like, he's doing something right, because I don't like almost all of them, and I'm like, okay, this is good. And then the other day, like Hillary Clinton was, I don't know if you saw it. She's all, yeah, I actually like what Trump's doing this one, and I said, Trump doing wrong. And Hillary Clinton agrees with you. There's something wrong there. Okay, we need to analyze this whole situation because it's not looking good of Hillary's on board with what you're doing.
And also that's another thing. Like, so in the news, it's been saying that a lot of the members of Congress, it's like a record like resignation or retirement this year. And I'm like, aha, what did these people do? They're stepping down for what?
But they said this is going to be the year of truth, man. A lot of truth's going to come out. So I'm hoping. I mean, the Epstein files have showed craziness. I haven't.
It's not been enough. Honestly, it's not been enough.
Yeah.
I want to see arrests.
No. Okay, I was gonna say. I thought you were talking about the files. I was like, the files are there. I mean, there's more, of course, but the files are there. But there needs to be arrest, and Pam Bondi is just the worst. I can't stand her, like, personally. I just think she's...
So I have a life experience I'll compare to this or whatever, just for to shed some light on it. So another big problem that we have in the United States right now is like when people are investigating, like when does the investigation start, like stop and the arrest happen? Because I know like during the time that I was in trafficking, like there was investigators that were involved, like everybody that I was around, like they were being investigated. And so why, and I actually got a lot of fallback from one of the agencies or the organizations called CLEAT, because they said that I testified against their bill, but I really testified neutral on the bill. Reason being is because during that time, I honestly, like, I wanted to be arrested for something, like arrest me so I get out of this situation. Yeah. And so, those investigators should be held liable as well if they're just sitting here watching people like me be trafficked and not doing anything. And it's the same thing with the Epstein files. And I think like that's what Pam Bondi's issue is because they are now complacent to some of these crimes because they watched it for so long.
Yeah, and it's on them. And I know, and one thing I will say is when you talk about them, right, people are like, the Democrats didn't do nothing either. I'm like, I know. Nobody said that they're the good guys in this story. But this is all coming out right now. And who are people going to remember the Epstein files with? They're not going to correlate it with the Democrats, even though they sat on their hands too. They're gonna connect it with Trump and his administration. And that's one thing I felt like, man, you're doing terrible at like your communication, the way you're distributing all that stupid little, had influencers with the folders. That was all dumb. It was like, what are y'all doing? Is like, do you have a PR guy? Because he needs to be on like overtime at this point because he needs to like figure this out.
I think that, like, honestly, she's doing the best job that she can. I don't want to give her such a hard time because it's a tough position to be in, and it really takes someone sort of like me who's like been through like some of those experiences to fight on it. But I do want to say part of the reason why I'm running for Congress right now is I went up to Washington, D.C. for a Leadership Institute training. And while I was there, one of the people that was in my class was a retired FBI agent who happened to work really closely with Pam Bondi when she was AG in Florida or whatever she was doing in Florida. And so she was the first person that I ever walked up to and told this retired FBI agent, I'm like, this is what happened. And I told her the whole story about the senator and also that there's a lot more. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, we have to get you somewhere. Like this stuff needs to be said. And so it really encouraged me. And as good as a woman that is, like, I know Pam Bondi can't be that bad of a person.
I know. I'm just not satisfied with the no arrest. Like, there's no arrest.
Right.
And it's like, and like I said, I'm not here. I don't want to be like, oh no, she's terrible, because I don't know behind the scenes. And that's one thing about influencers, right? They talk like they know every little thing, and it's like, bro, you don't know. Like,
they're probably scared too. Like they've never had to like walk the streets like we have,
And just like, but I do want to say, because I know I don't want to take too much of time. You got to see Trump in Corpus, right? I saw that. How was that experience?
It was wonderful. I was just so excited. It's actually the second time I got to see him. But the weather was interesting. It got like kind of cool and kind of like cloudy, and it was like so serious, but it felt like, the tide was turning. Like it just felt it was like really spiritual. His hair was
frolicking in the wind.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like, and it meant something amazing to me. And I want to say too, like, that's another thing. Like my opponent, like I just saw Abbott just a little bit ago, and then I saw
the
Trump.
picture you took with him.
Yeah. Why is my opponent afraid to say she's a Republican? Like, and I did notice she took all of her posts down on social media again, and now there's one that says she's a Republican. But this entire time, she's been trying to hide the fact that she was a Republican, basically to pull over that other base. And like, I'm happy sitting here with Trump, trying to get the angle right so it looks like I'm in the picture with him, and I'm proud to be.
Well, you should not.
Trumpian.
Yeah, you should not run. With a certain party, are you afraid to admit that you're in that party? Yeah, 100%. You should be proud of what you're running for and who you're running with. Yeah, because you could disagree, and that's one thing I don't like, because you see a lot of people on the right are becoming like that, overly tribalistic behavior where it's like you can't say nothing about Trump. It's like, no, you can. Like, he's just a guy like the rest of us. He's the most powerful man in the world, but you can say stuff. Doesn't mean you don't like him anymore or nothing. It just means like, hey, I don't think you're doing right on this. Maybe you should do this. Also, I don't have all the information that he has, so I can't really.
I honestly don't disagree with anything he's doing.
I just with some of the stuff like I just don't agree with like a lot of the Iran thing. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I hope it turns out well. So I don't know yet. But the Venezuela thing, I was kind of at first. I was like, this doesn't.
I loved it.
I was like, I don't know about, because I just don't like regime change. And then when CIA is involved and all that, historically, there's not one instance of regime change that ended well.
Right.
You can't name one. I don't know any of them. And I'm just like, regime change has always led to more and more chaos and people displaced and slavery. And we saw what happened with Gaddafi. Gaddafi wasn't the best person. I'm not gonna be one of those guys. Gaddafi was a goat. Like, I seen those people on the right. No, he wasn't. He was a terrible person, but he actually shouldn't have been killed. And when he got killed, we saw the slave trade so much in that whole area, and it's never been good. Guatemala, you're talking about Iran, like what we did in the very beginning. You just see a lot of stuff, and I just don't like regime change because it just never works out the way we think it is.
Well, I can respect your opinion, but we have to listen to the, millions of Iranian people that are pouring out over social media right now, thanking Trump and saying this should have happened 47 years ago. So
I think that's very that's one good thing about it. You see a lot of Iranians saying this is a good thing, but you also see a lot of them in Iran going with the new Ayatollah, and it's kind of like how much is it? How much is it? Like what proportion? I wish we could have like an
election,
like a poll. Like, all right, this many people are with it, this many are against it. But I mean, I'm not a fan of Iran. I think they're terrible. I think they call us the big devil while Israel's
that's
a
a
little
Persian
devil.
Empire, right?
Yeah,
But that's the exact same thing that's happening in America right now. Like, that's what they're attempting to do right now. What is it? That Red-Green Alliance?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's
The Red-Green Alliance is crazy.
It's happening right now.
And like we saw with the terrorist attack just recently, yes. Mamdani's blaming the white supremacist guy, which that guy's a piece of shit. I know. Jake Lang. I don't like him. I know a lot of people. I've interviewed a lot of J6ers enough to know Jake Lang is not like the monks, the J6ers, because he's kind of like a plant and he does stuff. But still, that doesn't mean you get to throw a bomb at somebody because you don't like what they say, because he wasn't violent. Even though he's an idiot, he's not violent. Those people were. And then Mamdani comes out and says like some weird, stupid shit about, what did he say? Something about, where the white supremacists kind of brought this.
I didn't hear that part about it, actually.
It's like, what? Like, no. Condemn the terrorist that threw a bomb, right? Because that bomb was made in advance, like it was.
But I also think that Mamdani is a domestic terrorist.
I mean, he should not ever hold a place of office and have that kind of power as a Muslim communist,
Yes.
And like, it's weird how a lot of women will fight for Muslim faith, knowing that it's gonna oppress you way more than the whole patriarchy you think you're in right now. And it's like, bro, like that Red-Green Alliance is true. You got the liberal Marxists and all that teaming up with the Muslims to basically, like, the KGB's wet dream, right? It is. It's like to just basically have the downfall of America, because that's the best way to kill America is from the inside.
That's what's happening. And then, fun fact, Greg Kassar.
Fun facts. I love your fun facts.
I do say that a lot.
I don't know. You're good.
So Greg Kassar, and he may or may not be your councilman right now. It's close. But he's who I'm running against in November. Well, he tells everybody he's Mexican, but I don't know if you ever heard him speak Spanish before, but you'd be like, whoa. But he actually is not a son of Mexican immigrants. He's a son of Iranian immigrants who migrated to Mexico before immigrating to the United States.
He's a phony. That's one thing I like about regular people when they run for office. Like, you're a regular person.
That's why they hate me.
No, because we do, even though we say we hate kings and queens, we love royalty. Like, Americans love it because they'll vote for somebody just because of the name recognition. Like, he's a Bush. We had Bush before, and it's somebody that's stable. It's like, when has America been stable? Like, please explain.
I don't want anything we've had before. I want it all new. We need a new Congress. We need new. It's time.
I agree with you. I think we need a whole new set of people. I think we need a new approach to a lot of things. And like you said, with some of the major policies. We need some changing to happen.
We need to work on election finance laws because it's ridiculous. For me, like my race is not going to cost as much money as most races would cost because it's in one county, but there's no reason why you need $1 million, $2 million to win an election. Like honestly, like it doesn't. You could go get on your feet and go knock on doors. If you're not able to rally up the volunteers to help you, like there's no reason why you need that much money, but it's just paid influence and it really needs to be looked into. And I know since 2012, the amount of campaign donations has just skyrocketed. Like it's billions an election cycle.
Well, you need millions and millions of dollars and then billions if you're running for president. Like I think it was Kamala, what did she do? Like billion or something? It was something ridiculous number. Remember, it was some astronomical number that she spent in that little time period that she was running. Because when Biden dropped and she went in, it was something crazy, and I was like, God, it was. All
you gotta do is build your following organically.
Yeah, well, that's the grassroots, right? Like get it organically, and that's what you've been doing, which is awesome. It's just that PAC money, you know. They get money, and they're gonna have the best commercials. They're gonna have the best legal team and everything else.
And this is like, y'all pay attention because like this is not what the American people, like my generation, our generation wants anymore. We don't want to see those polished politicians. We want to see who they are really like in their face. So making little daily TikToks and just talking, they appreciate that more than your polished ad on TV.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. And it hits especially the younger voters for sure. All right, real fast before you have to go, what do you like better, music scene, San Antonio or Austin? We're gonna have to put you on the spot.
Y'all have freestyle down here, so I love it.
Do we? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, y'all got a freestyle radio station, Lil Susie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't listen to the radio. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard it in a long time.
I actually for metal I like it here, but for just music scene in general, y'all got it. What about breakfast tacos? Better.
The Barbacoa and Big Red in South San Antonio.
Okay, there you go. We win. We win that one. Now that one's us for sure. What's one thing you like better about San Antonio than Austin, by the way?
It definitely has a more family feeling. There's more of a traditional family feeling when you're out and about and just in general, like the years that I spent growing up here. Because in Austin, it's not, I think they have the highest population of like single people in Austin. It's like
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's the singlest place. And so like it's very lonely for families.
I used to love Austin, and I liked it when I was growing up, but I went not that long ago, and then I went to 6th Street afterwards, and I was like, all right, let me get a Lone Star. You know, I got a 16-ounce Lone Star. And they're like, oh, yeah, that'd be like $8. And I said, God damn, like what, $8? I used to get these for like $1.50 back in the day.
$2 Tuesday.
Yeah, it was like cheap, right? And then, oh my God, I was like, how do the kids party nowadays? I don't even know how they party.
Well, so when I was meeting up with that business owner, actually, with the venue, and we were discussing the concerts and stuff, he was saying that in the bars, their sales have gone down 30%. And he was also saying that a reason for that is that drug use has gone up. And so the amount of alcohol purchases has gone down. So it's hurting small businesses in Austin because people are doing uppers and don't want to drink and things like that.
Well, I did see this thing where a lot of beer companies were kind of flustered because everybody's just vaping now.
Yeah.
And like the young kids, if you ask them about drinking, a lot of them are like, I just kind of, just get high, and they just vape all the time, which is really bad because it's that liquid that goes in your lungs. But yeah, so a lot of people are not drinking as much, so that's one thing that's kind of crazy.
It's good, but it's really bad because a lot of the new drugs that are coming out, like they're bad.
Fentanyl and all
so
that
bad.
stuff. Yeah, there's so much fentanyl stuff and things now. You never know what you're taking. I wonder how the future's going to look of a lot of kids kind of stay away from drinking, which is not, like you said, it's good and bad at the same time because you have a whole industry on that, but also it's bad because alcoholism and what it does to people when it, especially... Some people just can't handle it, and some people I'm like, man, you shouldn't drink. You just stay away from that. That's right. So, future for you, if it doesn't work out, what is the future for you? I'm curious. Like, what do you have?
I'm very excited. Okay, and this is how big of a nerd I am. Like, I'm really weird. So,
I like it.
When I sleep at night, I literally dream about like speeches that I'm, and then also like testimonies that I'm gonna give. And I know that's so weird, and I remember it when I wake up. And
I wish I had that memory.
Yeah. And so, like, I've been going over all of the legislative testimony that I'm going to be presenting in the 90th legislative session should I not be elected. And, you know, I'm very excited. I don't know where my brain has come up with these ideas, but it's time for accountability. And so now that I really have the hang of it down, I'm going to be up there at the Texas Capitol every single day in hearings, especially hearings where my current state senator and current House rep are at, because I'm going to throw them all under the bus. I'm going to bring evidence. I'm going to show it all, just like the issues that I'm having with the housing authority and all of the other different programs that I have significant evidence of fraud, waste, and abuse against. Whereas in the last legislative session, I brought in a stack of papers like this and set it down. And I'm like, this is what it is. I'm going to present it like a court case. So I'm going to be like, here's exhibit 1, here's exhibit 2. Like, what you going to do, you know? And I'm really ready to do that. And it's a really hard place to be in, because I know that it'll be good for the American people for me to be in Congress, because I'm going to tackle a lot of things that a lot of people are afraid to because they're puppets. But also it'll be great for the people of Texas if I take on, you know, the 90th legislative session and expose all this. So it's like, where is my exposure going to be the most powerful? I don't know. I'll let the voters decide. Where do you want me to be, and who do you want me to tick off so that we can fix these things?
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, make everybody pissed off. I don't give a shit. I'd love to see that. But so no matter what, you're gonna stay in the realm of politics. And are you like you're gonna be trying to be a lawyer or something?
Oh, I'm a paralegal. I want to go to law school, but here's my biggest problem about it. For one, I could already pass the bar if I wanted to take it, but I don't want to take the bar because they hold the little bar card over you. And some of these cases that I'm tackling, they would try to take my card away, like, oh, you know, and try to take it away from me. So it's more powerful being a pro se litigant at this point in my position. I would love to go to law school, but the only one that's feasible is the University of Texas. And like, I know that everything they're probably teaching is woke and not right, because one of the biggest issues, here's another thing. Sorry, my bad. I talked about.
No, you're good. You're good.
Because y'all got a law school here in San Antonio too. So here's what happens. They are taking students that are still in law school and they're putting them in the DA's office. They're putting them as soon as they graduate as defense attorneys, like the ones that are paid for on the tax dollars and stuff, without any experience. And they don't even know like what the Fourth Amendment is. They don't know their constitutional rights. So like my oldest stepson, he's 22 years old. He got kicked out of the house when he was 16. We found out about it last January, and I took him in, and he had like some petty little misdemeanor case at the time. And so I'm like, you know, what's going on? Let's look it up. Well, these public defenders, they're stretching out these petty cases for like 2 and 3 years.
Jesus.
And it's all like a vicious cycle through the law schools. So that's why our courtrooms are so corrupt. That's why our DA is so corrupt. It's because we have that law school there in Austin. And so that might be something for you guys in San Antonio to look at, is the relationship with your law school and to the district attorney and the public defender's office and things like that. Like, that's where the corruption comes from. They're literally breeding these people to go and work in these positions and ensuring that they don't have the knowledge to be a free thinker.
No, yeah, and we're talking about like a kind of, you were saying something about politicians and people that are like what is it, investigators that are sitting on their hands. I agree with that. On the other side of that too, the judges, man, judges that let these people out that have like 10 priors, 20 priors, like, you know, they've been arrested how many times in so much and such a little time period, and then they're out in the streets able to kill people, hurt people, harass people. And it's like, bro, at some point judges need to be held accountable. Like, we need to start putting it where, hey, if you're letting people out after the 18th, or not even that, that's way too far already for me. After the 5th time in like a year, and they're continuing to be a threat to society and a menace, yeah, dude, if you're letting them out to be out there in the free world, continuing that kind of behavior, you need to be held accountable for that, for sure.
Right. And there's 2 things that we can do to solve that. First of which, we got to bring back the grand juries, because us as citizens are supposed to be able to like have access to that and like bring cases forward and things like that. But they're non-existent anymore. But there's another thing, you know, Abbott had proposed a special prosecutor. And I think that's a wonderful idea. I would like to see that happen on the federal government side, where you could take someone who has legal knowledge and experience, but hasn't been connected to any of these organizations or institutions that have kind of, to be a puppet, and have there be a special prosecutor that's able to take on cases that's not connected to anything, because that really is a problem. That's what we're seeing with Pam Bondi with the Epstein files. She's connected to the establishment that allowed it. And so if there was someone who was completely, solo, let them go.
Yeah. And even with the Supreme Court, like, you already know how the leftist judges are going to vote.
Right.
And on the right, you're always kind of like, oh, which way they're going to go. And that's a problem. Like, that's a problem, because you 100% every time there's some kind of thing proposed to the Supreme Court, I already know how Ketanji Jackson and Santa Maria, and I already know how those people are going to, like, oh yeah, they're going to vote whatever the leftist vision is for America. And on the right, you have all the, all the other ones, and you're like, I'm not sure how Kavanaugh's going to vote. I'm not sure how this person's going to vote. And that's the way it should be. It should be like all 9 justices. We should not know, hey, they're going to vote the right way. But we have so much politicization on these judges, and just these biases and all that. And that's why we're seeing all this stuff go on. And then you see, like, anything Trump does, right, judges from New York or California, they're doing all these junctions on them, and it's like, God, like, you can do. Are we?
Well, wasn't the
judicial shouldn't be that crazy,
Right. Wasn't our life expectancy during the time of the Constitution being written? Our life expectancy was a lot shorter.
Oh, of course, yeah. Modern medicine changed that.
And so, I think that's the issue with the Supreme Court. We don't have term limits on there. It was never put in there because I think at the time maybe they didn't anticipate our life expectancy being longer and those judges needing to sit for so long.
Yeah, it was like, what's her name? RPG. What was her name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No. The one, the Supreme Court justice. Oh, I don't know why. Ginsburg.
Yeah.
I'm messing up her name. But
on
anyways,
the basis of sex.
Yeah. Was she like? They used to wheel her into the Supreme Court, like, at the end. Yeah, she was on her deathbed, and then they tried to put a propaganda video of her, like, lifting weights in the gym. I was like, come on, bro, like, she's on her deathbed.
That case that she won, I guess, that started all of it was like the discrimination on the basis of sex, right? And, it was a wonderful thing at its time. And what was that, like the 60s or something?
Yeah, it just gets taken advantage of. Yeah.
Right. And so now, that's exactly what the left is using to push these ridiculous things as far as discrimination. And so it really sucks. Like, you can see the liberal takeover of something so small that was so great back then, and they've just ruined it.
It's like Title IX.
Yeah.
It was for women, like, to have, no discrimination at sports as well and all that. And they're using Title IX for the transgenders to be in, women's sports. It's like, that's not at all what this was meant to do, So you kind of, now we have these bastardizations of, like, legal cases, and they're using them to push their agenda. And it's just like, but I mean, of course, everybody can say that both sides do that. Yeah, but one's more egregious than the other. I would say one side's more egregious than the other.
Right.
But that's just my take. But yeah, so it's getting kind of late, but I really, Lauren, I really appreciate you coming. Hopefully we could get you soon, or we'll go to Austin and go help you out with anything when it gets closer to the election. Where can people find you, and when's the next? Is it May, right?
May,
right?
May 26th.
Go ahead.
I think early voting starts 2 weeks before that, but you can find me at Lauren4Congress.com. That's Lauren, the number 4Congress.com. If you go up to the top right corner, you're going to see a link to all my social media sites. Go ahead and reach out to me. I'm really responsive. I want to hear what you think and, what you want to know about me, because I know it's a really big job that I'm asking to partake in. And being someone who's such an outsider, I want you to ask questions. I want you to get to know me and see that I'm trustworthy. So, if you could vote for me on May 26th, that would be amazing. But go to Lauren4Congress.com, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, and she is very responsive. I messaged her one time. And I was like, I saw your when you're in those council meetings and you're just yelling at people like, I'm the only one, and I was like, I like this chick, and we share a name, so I was like, okay, cool. And
I thought it was set up at first.
This ain't a Pena. There's something wrong with this. I messaged you. You responded right away. We set up a time, and then we both had some scheduling problems, and then we finally got today. So I really appreciate how fast you were and how considerate you were to talk to even somebody that's in San Antonio, and your reach hopefully gets further and further, and hopefully you stick to your guns like what you said you were, because I really do appreciate that, and I hope it continues to go that way. But yeah, Lauren, go follow her, go see what you like about her. And we'll see.
And tell me what you don't like. I don't have a problem hearing that.
Except for those terrible comments.
Yeah, don't call me fat. I'm working on it. I am working on it.
But go follow her, see what you like, see what you don't like, and vote for the person you think that best fits you. Hopefully it'll be Lauren here, and hopefully we could meet up again, work together, and do something for you. And see you. Hopefully you're in the hill one day. That'd be crazy. That'd be wild.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I manifest it till it happens. Yeah, have a good one. I'll see y'all next time.